Indiana Pacers. Last year they were 35-47, 11th seed in the East, and my projected record for the season. I made a new prediction standings for the season. So I'm not even gonna talk about my projected record for them. I'm gonna talk about that in my prediction video right before the season starts. But this team actually looks pretty nice coming into the season. Their depth chart is looking like, at least for the starting lineup, Tyrese Halliburton, Ben Mathurin. I have heard that Buddy Hield is in trade talks. I have him here, but it's most likely going to be Bruce Brown starting. Obi Toppin and Miles Turner off the bench. Andrew Nembhard. I said Bruce Brown might be in the starting lineup, so I don't know if he's going to be here no more. Aaron Nesmith, Jalen Smith, Isaiah Jackson, and then there's also TJ McConnell, Ben Shepherd, Jordan Nwora, Jabari Walker, and Daniel Tice. This is actually definitely going to be one of the most fun teams in the NBA. First of all, we got to talk about Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton is a bona fide star in the league right now. He legit has a case to be the best point guard in the East. No, okay, never mind. I forgot Damian Lillard just got traded to the Bucks like 2 weeks ago. He has a case to be the second best point guard in the East. He's definitely up there, and he's one of my favorite players in the league actually, specifically because of the way he plays. He's always looking for ways to get his teammates open. He's not so much of a scoring dribble shoot point guard like a lot of guys are out there nowadays. So I like the way he plays, and he's really the perfect guard for nowadays NBA. He moves the ball around, he can shoot, he can play make. He's got length, he's taller than the normal point guard at 6'5". And he's just a cool guy, man. Tyrese Halliburton is one of my favorite point guards in the league right now, and I really hope he can succeed. And a part of this might be because I played with him in my Indiana Pacers, my NBA series last year on my main channel. But I've seen him play, and I like his style of play. I like the fact that he's always looking for his guys to get open. And when you have scoring options on this team, like the scoring options you have, like this team is full of a bunch of guys who can score the ball. And I'm not talking about guys who can specifically get buckets, like guys who can ISO, dribble, shoot type stuff. I mean guys who can score the ball. I mean guys who could be open, and when you find them, they can score the ball. Like Buddy Hield, I mean, it's not like he's going to be here forever, especially considering he's been in trade talks, but he's here, and he's a guy who can, if they keep him, be open on the wing for some threes. And he's one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA in the past 8 years. And then there's also Miles Turner, who can get down low and he can shoot. He's that inside-outside threat at the center position. At the center position, which is the type of guy you need. You just recently signed Obi Toppin, who's a nice lob threat for Tyrese, and having him with Tyrese can really open up the floor for both of those guys. You got Ben Mathurin, who's a young guard. There's a bunch of scoring options really on this team, who I really like. Let me actually, because I talked about Tyrese Halliburton a bit, let me take some time to talk about Ben Mathurin. Ben Mathurin, ever since before he got drafted even, I was a believer in Ben Mathurin. I really liked him, and especially because he was Canadian, and I'm Canadian myself, so, I think we had that little connection. I liked him, and in his rookie year, he was hooping. He was averaging like 20 points a game, I think, at one point in the season. And he did slow down as the year went on, and because at the beginning of the year, he was top 3 in Rookie of the Year voting. But as the season went on, he kind of fell down those rankings. And he still had an overall good rookie year. But I'm just hoping he can come back this year after learning what he learned in his first year and just play better. Because when you have a guy like Tyrese, having a guy like Ben beside him who can get a bucket at any given moment, or who could possibly have the potential to be a guy like that, if Ben could reach that level, then I think that would just open up this team so much more. Because when I look at this team, I see so much potential. They have some young guys who can be really good, and they have is just so much potential. There's so much potential with this team, and I really like the players in this team, and I like the way they built it because Ben Mathurin is a really good shooter, and you have Buddy Hield, who's a really good shooter. You have Obi Toppin, who can score in the post, and you have Turner, who can do both. And then when you have Tyrese playmaking for all those guys, it's beautiful, man. You have Bruce Brown, who moves. I like the signings that the Pacers made this offseason. Because this offseason, the real changes that the Pacers made were signing Bruce Brown, signing Obi Toppin, and drafting, not Jabari Walker, Jarace Walker. Have I been saying Jabari Walker? Jarace Walker, or Jarace Walker. I don't know how to say his name. But those are the three main changes they made. And then also drafting Ben Sheppard, I'm pretty sure. And when I look at Bruce, first of all, with the Bruce Brown signing, I think that's perfect for this team because he's a guy who can move off the ball. He can get some buckets when he needs to, shoot when he needs to, get to the basket, score when he needs to. Well, not really get to the basket, but he moves around. Because when you looked at the Nuggets offense last year that helped them win a championship, it was Jokic handling the ball and all the rest of the guys moving off the ball, getting open and getting to the spots where Jokic can find them for easy baskets. So with Bruce Brown now on a team with Tyrese, who's another one of the best playmakers in the league, you see that as a perfect place for him because now Bruce Brown is moving off the ball, getting open, getting some buckets, and Tyrese is dishing out assists to get him some buckets. So when you look at it from that standpoint, Bruce Brown is the perfect signing for the Indiana Pacers. And you can say the same about Obi Toppin because Obi Toppin's a guy who can be, he's kind of like, listen, I didn't watch much of the Knicks, I'll be honest. But I know that Obi Toppin is a skilled dunker, and he's a skilled finisher at the rim. And if you can get him to do that at the very least, it can help this team a lot because Tyrese Halliburton, like I said, he's a great playmaker. And him being a great playmaker really opens up the floor for the rest of this team, where Obi Toppin has so much more opportunity on this team because he's probably going to be starting unless they want to start Jalen Smith at the 4. And Tyrese and Obi in that little duo right there, well, it's not exactly a super duo, but like those two could work really well together. And I think that could honestly work. That signing could help them score a lot of points, and it could be really, really good for this team. So I like the signings that they made this offseason. With the Jarace Walker pick, at first, if I'm being honest, I was questionable. I wanted them to get Taylor Hendricks because the way I see it, Taylor Hendricks is a guy who plays defense and he's a really good shooter. He's like a 3-and-D forward. And when I saw him on the board, well, I originally, in my mock draft, I had them picking him, and I saw him still on the board when the Pacers had the pick, and I was like, pick Taylor Hendricks, please. And they picked Jarace Walker. And I didn't pick Jarace Walker in my mock draft, but I did scout him, and when I looked at him, I might as well do this because I've done this for like just about every other rookie that I've talked about in this little series. For Jarace Walker, he's a forward out of Houston, 6'7", 249 pounds. I don't know about that frame, but I said his high was a poor man's Kevin Garnett / Zion. His strengths were he's a great finisher, he can finish with contact, he's strong and kind of fast and athletic, a decent ball handler, a good mid-range game, a decent catch and shooter, and he knows how to find his teammates as a big man, and he's also an amazing blocker. The unknowns for me were, will his shooting be consistent at an NBA level? And also, he's only 6'7", which is pretty small for a power forward. And I guess with the pretty small thing, there are a lot of guys in the league who are power forwards, Draymond, PJ Tucker, Jayshawn Tate, guys like that who are small and still run the power forward position and have been successful. So when you look at it from that view, I mean, I guess it could work. But I just didn't like the pick and not exactly that I didn't like the pick, but I liked the Taylor Hendricks pick more because I thought he was the perfect fit for this team. because in my opinion, he still really would be the perfect fit for this team. But they wanted Jarace Walker more, and Jarace Walker still does a lot. He plays good defense. He does pretty much, a lot of people have said he does a little bit of everything, and he does do a little bit of everything. He can shoot a little bit, he can play a lot of great defense, he can score at the basket, and he can do the things you need him to do. And with a team like this, where you have guys who can already score, I guess that makes sense. I just like the Taylor Hendricks idea more, but it is what it is. They picked Jarace Walker, so I guess if it works, it works. We'll see what happens. And then after that, the last guy I would really want to talk about, I guess, Andrew Nembhard. I mean, I've seen a little bit of him. He's also Canadian. At least I'm pretty sure he's Canadian. Yes, he is Canadian. So he's Canadian. He's another guy I noticed playing for the Pacers, and he could be good. He's probably going to be taking the role of a backup point guard on this team, with TJ McConnell getting older, and now this team wanted to bring in the younger, newer guys. I could see Andrew Nembhard taking that backup point guard spot, and we'll see what he can do. We've seen flashes from him being able to score, but you know what I'm saying, we haven't seen too much. There's also Aaron Nesmith. I remember he used to play for the Celtics, and now he's over here in the Pacers. I mean, there's not much to say about him. There's Jordan Noir. There's a few guys on this team who are kind of just solid role players, or not even solid, just role players who are on other teams that came over here and now are given a bit more opportunity than they used to have. And we'll see what happens, man. But really, when I look at the top few guys of this team, especially the bigs, I should actually talk about the bigs, because I really like the big man core here. You got Obi Toppin, Miles Turner, Jalen Smith, Isaiah Jackson, Jarace Walker, and I guess Daniel Tice counts too. I just really like all those bigs that they have there, because they have some, or at least 3 of them, have at least decent shots. All of them can at least decently finish at the basket. Most of them are pretty good defenders. And when you look at that big man core, the future is looking pretty bright, man, especially with Isaiah Jackson, who's an actual nice big man I like on their team. You got Miles Turner, who we've seen what Miles Turner can do for the past who knows how many years of his career. He's a great stretch big, and he's been in trade offers, but he just recently got extended. And in interviews, he said, I'm looking to be an all-star this year. So if he's coming from that standpoint, I could see this Pacers team, because sometimes it's all about mindset. If you have the right mindset, it can really make things different. So I could see this Pacers team with Miles Turner in that mindset 100% being a very, very good team. I'm not going to say where yet, because that's coming in a later video, but I really like the build. I really like the setup, I guess I should say, of this team. They are still very young, which is one thing that I noticed, but they have tons of guys who can come in and be decent, and that's all they really need. If they made the play-in at the very least, that would be honestly a W season for them. And that's why I'm kind of excited to watch this team play, especially with Tyrese, Ben, and Obi, and Jalen Smith, Jarace Walker. I'm excited to see how the team works. Bruce Brown, I can't wait for the season to come, and I cannot wait. But yeah, that's all I'm going to have to really talk about with this team. This is looking pretty nice, man. The future is looking pretty nice. Tell me what you think down below in the comments about this Pacers team this upcoming season, because I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on each team that I talk about. So with the Pacers, they're one of my, at least based on how they're built right now, one of my favorite looking teams in the league. They look a lot more fun than a lot of the other teams do. So I'm curious to see how they do, and I want to see what you guys are thinking about the Pacers for this upcoming season. So tell me down below what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment down below, like I just said 10 seconds ago, and turn on notifications so you get notified about each new video that I upload on this channel. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate the support. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.